everybody, this is Uncle D coming at you today. We're going to go ahead and make a beat using nothing but the ARP 2600 made by Korg. This is a cool old machine that they made a reissue of, and it sounds great, sounds just like the original. We're also going to utilize the Electron Octatrack. This is a sampler and sequencer, so I can find my sound, sample it, and create a beat all on the Octatrack. Alright, so first thing I want to do is make a kick drum sound. We'll start from the bottom going up. And to do that, I'm just going to use the filter on the ARP 2600 here. So we're going to see if we can get some sound. No sound. So what I want to do is crank the resonance. Ow. And then I'll bring the frequency down to a nice low frequency. Now I'm going to add the ADSR so I can get it to do that. Boo! That's what a real drum would do. So I'm going to keep going like that. I'm going to bring it down lower. Oh yeah. That's a nice deep sub. And with my ADSR I can control how it kind of attacks and releases. So we want a nice kind of short kick drum. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring the decay down a little bit. Bring that up. Okay, I think that's a good kick drum sound. Now I'm going to go ahead and sample that on the Octatrack. And to do that, I hit these two buttons like that. I'm going to do a close-up on this. Here I'm going to check my wave there, and we want to get that nice and locked in. There it is. Sounds good. Okay, so I've previously set up these trigs right here, and this is when the kick drum will sound. So here we go. There we go. There's our kick drum. Now let's move on to the snare drum. And a snare drum is made up of, well, we got the drum, and then they add a little snare on the bottom. So first I'm going to think about, well, what's the drum going to sound like? And so I'm going to come over here and go to VCO 1. There we go. So there's normal sound of VCO 1. But I'm going to add the ADSR, that's the attack and decay and sustain, to that to sound like a drum. I guess if I'm hitting a snare drum with no snare up, with the snare disengaged, that's kind of what it's going to sound like. So then I bring the noise up a bit and the filter so I can actually hear it. There we go. Little noise on there. And the drum. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, now we're going to go to the Octatrack. We're going to go to channel 2. I have the recording sampler set up. I'm going to find my snare. It's coming in. Let's go ahead and sample that. All right. And I'm going to line that up so when I hit the button, the snare will be right at 0. There we go. I think that sounds all right. So again, I have then set up my trigs to happen on 2 and 4, on beats 2 and 4. So let's see what we got here. Sounds like we're just hitting a little. There we go. Got ourselves a kick and a snare. Now let's go ahead and get a hi-hat sound. To do a hi-hat, really we just need noise. So I'm going to turn down any oscillators. I'm going to turn up the noise. Ooh, there we go. think we don't have to be too picky. We just need some noise. So I'm just going to sample this. Now I've set up my trigs on my Octatrack to do a hi-hat beat. So let's listen to just that. It sampled the noise that I've got. And now let's see what happens. Nice. I've added a bit of LFO to the volume setting and the pan so I get a little bit of back and forth to make it wide. Let's add the kick drum. Alright, I got my kick, snare, and my hi-hat going. I wouldn't mind a little tom action, that would be cool. So let's go back to using our filter. Crank the resonance on the filter. Ooh, that sounds cool. 80s right there. I think that's probably a good tom right there. I'm digging that sound. Yeah, that sounds 80s to me. So I'm going to go ahead and sample that. All right. Make sure that that's looking good. Ooh, perfect sample. So I'm going to place the trigs on that on the end of 3 on that beat. See what we got now. Put a little bit of reverb on that tom. All right, we got ourselves a nice little beat there. It's okay. Let's add some bass. Now to do this, I'm going to set up a MIDI track on my Octatrack so I can get it nice and solid and work with the sound before I sample it. So I'm going to dial up a MIDI track on the Octatrack, and this will record the notes that I play, but it won't record the sound. It'll send the sound back into the ARP 2600, and then I can mess with the sound a little bit. So first let's get a bass sound set up. Obviously we don't want that. Down the filter a little bit on that. Maybe add a little bit of the ADSR. So now I'll go ahead and hit record. Let it go through one time. We'll get a better bass sound after I get the MIDI track. 3, 4. There we go. And it quantizes it automatically, so that helps if you can't play very good like me. So let's see what kind of bass sound we can get here. It's maybe a little... There we go. Bring the filter down a little bit on that. That's not too bad. So we're going to come over to track 5 and we are going to record that. Here goes, recording. Okay, so now we got ourselves a bass line. Let's hear how that's sounding. It's okay, not bad. Good, now let's get some arpeggio type stuff going. So what we're going to do over here, set up another MIDI track. This time we're going to put a trig on here, and we're going to make that last the entire 64 beats. We build our chord right on the Octatrack. So let's do it. E minor 7. That should work okay with that. Let's see if that works. See how it goes. All right. Now it's all synced up. Let's add a little bit of reverb. The ARP 2600 comes with its own reverb, which sounds super cool. Yeah, and then we could just have fun with this. Better turn up that bass a little bit. Yeah, and then we can twist knobs for the next 42 minutes, which is what would normally go on. So there you have it, creating a beat on the ARP 2600 in about 5-10 minutes. No problem, a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. See you next time.